First, before I start talking some insane stuff, I want to say shout out to everyone who subscribes, who likes the channel, who reaches out to me, who continue to support me. I just want to say that these videos are for you. And I appreciate everything you guys got. I like that you guys come on here and you guys give your raw comments. No matter what I may think, you guys come with it. And I just want to say thank you so much for that. It definitely means a lot for me and for the channel. So let's get into this video. What I really want to come here and say is this: throw Travis Perry in the fire. Now, that sounds crazy to a lot of people who may watch this and say that, and you guys may be saying to yourself, no, you don't put Travis Perry in the ball game. You don't do this. But look, hear me out, because this right here actually makes a lot of sense. This is not really just me just coming off the top of my head. This is me really just kind of looking at what's going on. Louisville, how fast did it take for him to get off the bench and get in the ball game? He got in the ball game pretty fast, and it wasn't like no time at all that he got in the ball game and was able to help out with the rest. Now, here's why I say throw him in the fire right now and let him get his feet wet. Now, when I say that, I don't mean bring Travis in the ball game to get him 14, 15 minutes of ball game. No. That's not what I'm talking about. I think one thing that we all can agree on is when we get into SEC play, it's gonna be a night in and night out nightmare for every single team out there, not just Kentucky, but every team out there. And because of that, if we look at how long the SEC season is, for me, it's really all about which team in the SEC has the legs down the stretch, not just in the particular ball game, but down the stretch. Who can last the longest? And Butler's back. For me, it was more so, Butler came back, scored 33 points in the ball game, which is really, really great. And I was the first one to jump up and down and scream happy. But we got to be realistic. When you have ankle issues, you're only one ankle away. You only one pivot. You only one rebound. You only one shot from coming down the wrong way on your ankle. You just are. So getting Butler on and off the floor as much as possible. Now, look, I'm not Coach Pope. I'm not trying to take Coach Pope's job. Not by a long shot. I'm just a fan like all of you guys is. But here's the thing. Even though a lot of people will sit back and say an acceptable year for Kentucky would be maybe making it past the Sweet 16 to the Elite Eight. That would be a successful year. But if we look deep down inside, all of us is ready to go back to the Final Four in year one with Coach Pope. Would we be disappointed if we only make it to the Elite Eight? I don't think a lot of fans would be. I think a lot of fans would be satisfied in year one with Coach Pope. But let's be real. As Kentucky fans, we know where we belong, and we belong in the Final Four. So with that being said, I go back to my point is Travis Perry is going to be able to give that 1 or 2 minutes of a rest to Butler, because look, let's be real. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily see Robinson playing the one that much. Can he play the one? Absolutely. Will he be used as a one? Absolutely. But we all know that we're a better team when Butler's on the floor. For his defensive thing, for him just being the floor general, for him just being there, his presence just makes such a big difference. So the reason why I say throw Travis Perry to the fire is this: you got to get him in there. I mean, and I know Coach Pope is going to be smart, and and I know he understands the game, and he's going to do what's best for the team. But as a fan, we all sit back and we all think about this. This is not something that a lot of you guys probably not even thinking about. But here's the thing: if you get Travis Perry in for little small spurts at a time, like look, if you can put Travis Perry in maybe a minute or so before a long TV break, put him in like a minute of game time, and then then we go through the long timeout, and then maybe put him back in for one more minute of game time on the other side of the break, and then you bring Butler back in. I mean, you're talking about physically maybe about 15 minutes or so of just pure rest for Butler. that makes a big difference. Now, like I said, I'm not calling for Travis Perry to come in and get 10, 11, 12, 13 minutes of ball game. I'm just talking about, like, even if it's strategically done, we're talking about maybe like 4 minutes of ball game. But in real time rest, that's where it's really crucial at. So you put Travis Perry in there and you tell Travis Perry that we need you to do your best. I know people are going to say, well, Travis Perry, he's not ready for this moment right now. Travis Perry, he's a major liability on defense. And I get that. And that's why you don't leave him in there for long periods of a time. You put him in there at certain times of the ball game to be able to give Butler that rest. So you could take the pressure off of Robertson of having to play the one. He would if you put him in there. And then you also, but if you can put Perry in there just to hold the fork down just for a minute here, a minute there, maybe 2 minutes here, that's going to make a big difference when it goes there, especially when we get into SEC play and it's going to be up and down, up and down, up and down the whole ball game. Like, that's a lot. That's going to be a lot on Butler. And we're talking about longevity here. We're not just talking about in the moment. We're talking about which SEC team is going to last the longest, staying healthy. And like I just said, Butler's only one rebound, only one shot, only one cut, only one anything from re-hurting that ankle. Now, we want to look at Kriisa and says, well, he may be back in the middle of January. He could be back first part of February. We don't know that yet. Setbacks happen. Even though people say he's already in the weight room lifting or whatever, getting his ankle or whatever, his foot back in shape, that's all fat and dandy. But hey, when you're talking about an athlete and their feet is what they need the most, we don't know really what the timeline is for that kid to come back. We really don't. So in the meantime, what we're all we're doing is we're just prepping Perry to be in the fire. And that's why putting him in the fire right now is so crucial to what it is that we're trying to do. We're trying to get that kid out there, get him some minutes. And the more he gets out there, and it's not even being out there for long periods of time. But when you throw a young freshman out there in the fire that early, he's either going to sink or he's even going to swim. We need to figure out which one he's going to do when he's under pressure. And I know a lot of people out there are really rooting for this young man, him and Trent. But it seems to be here lately, the one out of the two, Perry has been the one that's been getting in the ball game pretty fast out of the two. So I have to assume, like rest of you guys have to assume that until Kriisa comes back, then this is going to be the norm. So I'm all in on getting Perry out there. I'm all in throwing Perry to the fire and let him swim, or you better figure it out, or you're gonna drown. So you got to get out there. You got to hold it down while we give Butler those minutes, so he can come off the bench. So when the game's on the line down the stretch, who do you want in the ball game? You want Butler in the ball game. You definitely not Perry. And if you can have Butler with fresh with some of a fresh body, because look, we know these other teams, they're going to be playing their players 31, 32, 33 minutes of ball game. That doesn't mean that we have to do that. We don't have to follow that trend. So if we have a capable guy over that can come in and give us valuable one minute here, 2 minutes there, I think at the end of the day, dude, that's a success plan for Kentucky. And that's one way that we can, when it comes down the stretch, down deep into February, getting ready for SEC tournament, this is crucial in us being able to have a leg up on other teams, because we're a little bit fresher than they are, because these other teams, they just got guys who are automatically going to play 30 minutes of ball game, 32, 33 minutes of ball game, 38 minutes of ball game. If we can eliminate that and keep our guys fresh, because you ask people will tell you, for BBN, we're better when Butler's on the floor, and we are, and we can keep him fresh as possible. It's a no-brainer. So throw Travis Perry, throw him in the flame, and let him go, because it's time for him to either swim or sink. And I got a feeling this kid is going to learn how to swim very fast because he's a Wildcat and he understands what it means to play at Kentucky. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys, and go Cats.